Hello, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Koopafantasy Football. This is my sit-starting list for the Week 4 season, or Week 4 of the 2011 NFL season, sorry. All right, let's get right into it. So I'll take up all your time. My first start of the week for Week 4 2011 is Kyle Orton. It'll be very unlikely the Broncos keep up with the Packers running the ball or have much success running the ball at all. So look for Kyle Orton to have to use his arm all day in order to kind of keep that game competitive. My next start is Tim Hightower. He's looking great in a Redskins uniform so far, preseason and regular season. Behind him, the rookie Roy Halou is running almost as well, but it doesn't worry me too much. It's still Tim Hightower getting in the first like 5 to 10 touches every single game. So look for him to have some more good output this week. I got Daniel Thomason. I wrote this article yesterday. I've now been updated. Apparently, he's had a little bit of a flare up with a hamstring problem. So we might want to look into that first. But if he's starting and if he's healthy and good to go, I really like Daniel Thomas for Miami this week. Uh, Coach Sperano is playing for his job. So I think they're going to be doing anything and everything they can to get a win this week. They do not want to be 0-4. Sperano will probably end up getting the boot, and he doesn't want that. My next start is Lance Moore from New Orleans. Breeze made sure Moore is kept on their roster this offseason. He petitioned to have Moore re-signed, and you can see why. He was targeted like double-digit amount of times in their Week 3 effort. He went for over 80 yards and a TD. Colson might be back this week, but even if he is, I don't think Moore is going to see too big of a drop-off in his targets. Him and Breeze have a great connection. He's a great route runner. I'm looking to see more good weeks out of Lance Moore. Eric Decker from Denver. You gotta have. If I'm gonna have Denver, Kyle Orton on this list, I gotta have one of his wide receivers. He's gonna be throwing the ball all day. So I figured I'd pick Eric Decker. Brandon Lloyd is likely gonna have Charles Woodson on him, which will be a bit tougher of a matchup. So Eric Decker has had a pretty good first couple weeks so far. Looks really good. I'm liking him to be kind of the sleeper pick for the Denver wide receivers. Brandon Pettigrew was my start tight end this week. He's a favorite target of Matt Stafford in Week 3. Tony Scheffler had TD catches in Weeks 1 and 2, but I don't see him being much more of an impact now that Matt Stafford and Brandon Pettigrew are kind of on the same page now. All right, let's move on to my sit-em picks for the week. Number 1, QB, Matt Ryan. This is a tough one right here, bit of a gamble. I don't really care much for Matty Ice. I think against the Seahawks, the Falcons might have a quiet week in the air. The Seahawks are a pretty weak team, but they don't really let up a lot of pass yards. Their pass defense is better than their run defense. So Mike Turner and Jack Hughes Rogers could be the guys getting all the yards this week. So Matt Ryan, it's a bit of a risky play, but if you got a better option, consider it. BenJarvus Green-Ellis for New England. He was kind of usurped last week by Stephen Ridley towards the end of the game. Like he was stuffed all day long against the Raiders or against the Bills, sorry. And then Stephen Ridley came in, only had 6 carries, but he had like 7 yards per carry for over 40 yards. So the timeshare in New England might be about to go up. So if I'm a BenJarvus Green-Ellis owner, his value might be about to go down with each week. I think they're gonna start sharing that ball a bit more. Steven Jackson for St. Louis. He's going to be back in there with an increased workload compared to last week, but I still don't like the matchup. Caddy's going to be stealing from him. Caddy's a better pass catcher. I just really don't trust Steven Jackson this week. Chad Ochocinco, someone who I was really looking to target in my drafts this year after getting hooked up with Tom Brady, dropped a 41-yard pass that had everybody in Fantasyland moaning and groaning. So until Chad does something, put him on your bench because he may not even be a Patriot for much longer. Nate Washington for Tennessee. Kenny Britt is out. Nate Washington is in, but he's nowhere near the wide receiver that Kenny Britt is, so I don't expect the type of production. Hasselback has been a top QB option this year so far, but only because of Kenny Britt, if you ask me. Without Kenny Britt there, Hasselback is going to struggle. Nate Washington is going to struggle along with them. Don't expect to replace Kenny Britt with Nate Washington or get the same kind of production. And my last sit for this week is Fred Davis. Chris Cooley is back in the mix and looking good. So I would question starting Davis in deeper leagues with Chris Cooley back. I would avoid starting him besides in the very, very deep leagues. Washington is going to be using a 2 tight end set, so you will get targets, but Chris Cooley is the number 1. Alright, so that is my sit start for this week, guys. That is all she wrote. But just give me 1 second and I will go through my list of deep sleepers and dud studs real quick. I'm not going to give a big description on them each one, but I will talk about them real briefly. Alright, my deep sleepers, Jason Campbell. Raiders are going to have to keep up with New England, who's got a pretty crappy secondary. So look for Jason Campbell to have an alright week, spreading the ball out to his young wide receivers. Denarius Moore being one of those wide receivers. Have him in your lineup this week. Lewis Murphy and Jacoby Ford are probably going to be back. But roll with the hot hand. This rookie has been electric so far. So they're not going to want to forget about him. Victor Cruz, the preseason star, was finally able to bring some success in the regular season. He had 2 TDs and 100 yards. So I'm looking for him to try to string together another good week to really cement that number 3 wide receiver spot for New York Giants. So Victor Cruz this week. Bernard Scott, temporary start for those who need him. Benson's got a new suspension, so Bernard Scott's their running back. More of an opportunity than talent thing here. He's going to have lots of touches, but I don't really expect him to do too much with them. It's just lots of opportunity. Greg Olsen, he's playing against his former team. I'm expecting he's going to have some revenge to exact. Hey, Mike Martz never really fully used him effectively, so I expect Greg Olsen to kind of tell Cam Newton, yo, man, get me the ball. Let's do something. My dud studs, these are the guys who were weekly starters you may want to consider opting out with. Joe Flacco, he's not going to throw 3 TDs, no opening quarter, let alone in the game probably. They're going against the Jets team, who always suck to play after they lose. Baltimore, Jets, Pittsburgh. These are the teams you hate to play when they come off losses. And here you go. Don't expect Joe Flacco to have that big of a week. Aaron Foster is going to be playing again. He's going to have a shared workload, injury problems. I'm sitting Aaron Foster again this week until he comes out with a good effort. Deshaun Jackson, my disdain for this guy paid off last week when I put him on my sit list. And I'm going to go with that once again, roll with the cold hand. He only seems to play well when Michael Vick does. Anquan Bolden as my next one. He only has 1 TD on 3 weeks, and I don't see him getting his 4th against the Jets. Like I said, they're coming off a loss. Going to be a tight matchup there. And last one is Tony Gonzalez. He's had a really good year so far this year after a bit of a drop-off last year. Guys, he's the ageless wonder, but I'm expecting Turner and Rodgers to do a lot of their work on the ground. I don't see Matty Ice throwing for a whole lot of yards this one. So Gonzo probably will be kept out of the end zone. Alright, and that's my sit start, deep sleepers, dud studs for the week. This is Koopa Fantasy. You can visit my blog at koopafantasy.wordpress.com. Subscribe to my articles, like my articles, do whatever you want to do. Give me some love, give me some support. I really appreciate it, guys. And until next time, peace and good luck.